let's get to some questions that nobody asked me. How much to save in 529? To make a long story short, my almost 7-year-old has 72,000 in her 529. We have saved 400 a month since she was born. Is this enough? Are we on track? Thanks. Well, how do we find out if we're on track? It's hard to predict, of course, but there are some calculations that we can make. Of course, you remember schools are different as well. You know, if you want them to go to Harvard, it's going to be a lot of money, and maybe in this case you're not on track. But generally, 72 rule: if interest that you make, you divide 72 by the interest you make on your investments. Let's say it's S&P 500 and we go with modest 10% return annually. That means 72 divided by 10 will be 7.2 years is how long it's going to take your money to double. That's what the rule of 72 is. So $42,000 will double in 7 years. So by the time she will be 14, you will have $82,000, $84,000, and that without you adding any more. But if you're still putting $400, man, that's going to be way more than that. And again, in 7 years, by age 21, she will have now $164,000, okay, at 10%. So this is definitely a lot of money for education. I'm sure there's calculators that you can look up and to figure out how much. You also can figure out state school will be pennies compared to some big schools, you know. But generally, people do not look for, oh, what's your education? If you're a doctor, you're a doctor. Well, you probably need different education for that. But nobody's asking for school. Did you ask your doctor what school did they go to? Not really. If you go to a hospital, there's a doctor. You kind of assume that they're educated, and so hopefully they are. So how much contribute? Again, for me, I need to talk to my wife about that first. But after we do our maxing out of Roth IRA, which increased this year to $7,500, and if you are over 50 years old, it's going to be $8,600, I believe, a year. So remember, you can still contribute to the previous year, and you can max it out, and I recommend it to max it out. We did it throughout the year, so we don't need to do that. But if you haven't, max it out. It's tax-free growth on your after-tax investments. So one of the best vehicles, obviously. Not better than free match from your employer. Anyways, so after that, my goal is right now, but I can talk to my wife, of course, whatever we need to find a margin in our budget after we do investments. Okay, how much are we going to put? There's two of them. Okay, one is 8, one is almost 6. So is it $100 a month? Is it 200? We probably can't swing 200. We'll see. But we need to look at the budget, and we see, and that's how I plan to figure out how much I want to put towards them. It's more of what I can do versus, I must put this much for them and then cut down on my food budget or anything like that. Okay, so we, in my opinion, the parents are priority. We do not live for our kids. Some people think that, some people do that. It's not what I believe. All right, let's look at the next one. 529 plans, are they worth it? Are people still utilizing the 529 plans for their children? I'm torn on whether or not to start one. I can see benefits in both going to college and not going to college. Think joining a trade like electrician. So college specifically isn't something I would push, and I'm not sure what happens to the funds in other instances. Like will it be subject to high taxes if my child didn't use it for college? Edit to address a frequently asked question. I am beating goals for retirement savings in combining Roth and 401k and planning on continuing adding to these funds at the same rate. Emergency fund is a 6 months gross pay, so can easily cover bills for 8+ months, depending on how much I cut back in case of job loss. Either savings goals are on their way to being achieved. Kitchen remodel in 1 to 2 years. Okay, so this is a very good example of a person following the wealth game, step by step. Their education is very good. Their steps are sorry, I was distracted. There's somebody's calling my phone, but they're doing good. They're investing into their retirement. Okay, they have emergency fund. That's overkill. I'm very conservative, and it's 6 months for me of minimal really expenses, like what I need to survive on, not everything that we need. But now they're asking about 529. Of course, it's worth it. Yes, there are some things that we need to be conscious of. What if child doesn't want to go? Again, I'm not pushing the college. By no means. I don't even think we need to, but I want to give them this option, or give them that choice when times come to it. And that's why I'm looking into it. So it's definitely worth it. You can decide what you're going to do with the money. It can be used for education, mostly for accommodation. Like if they're living in the dorm, it can be used for that. Going more into depth, probably I should do one live specifically about cons and pros of 529, so we can all learn. But meanwhile, for mere mortals like myself, I just want to add that to my wealth building game, my wealth game, so I can give option to my children to go to college if they would like that. Okay.